the UN adopting a resolution that opposes Jewish settlements in the occupied territories of Israel. The U.S. abstained on that vote. Now, the Israeli Prime Minister is firing back. Netanyahu is outraged, to say the least. Jeff Ballabon, Jewish Republican strategist, joins us now. Jeff, thanks for coming in on this. Were you shocked and surprised by what happened, that the U.S. did not veto this resolution?
Neither shocked nor surprised, appalled and disappointed. But it wasn't really surprising. People have been speaking for over 2 years on Capitol Hill about a lame duck surprise by Barack Obama, given his animosity to the Jewish state.
So this basically is a resolution criticizing the Jewish settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. But the UN generally has no teeth. What does this really do? What impact does it have, if anything?
Well, one impact, positive impact from my perspective, is that friends of mine in Israel are already talking about starting January 21, laying the groundwork for a new town called Ramat Barak, which is to say Barak Heights, dedicated to Barack Obama. There's enormous sympathy now, having linked Jerusalem, which everyone in Israel understands to be the core Jewish locality for thousands of years, to somehow being illegal. It's created tremendous sympathy for Jewish life in Judea and Samaria. The other thing that's happened here in the States is there's been a renewed discussion of defunding the UN. The question of whether the UN is helping or hurting the United States.
Well, the U.S. provides, what, 25% almost of the funding for the United Nations?
That's right, and a home. And defunding it, or most of its programs, would, I think, go a long way to helping America's interests and its allies' interests.
So what is the key to peace? Because the Palestinians will tell you this is important. It shows the world that they believe that the building of settlements in these areas is illegal, is not conducive to peace, and that it's basically making the situation worse. How would you respond to that?
Well, they can say what they want, but the reality is that under international law, these towns are all completely legal. Now, the UN is moving to try to make them illegal, but it really can't undo the San Remo Conference, which established this as Jewish territory. It's very hard. By the way, the Republican Party, with Donald Trump's team also, passed a resolution this year. The new GOP platform officially says that it's a lie to say that Israel's occupying any territory. And so let me tell you what will not bring peace. What will certainly not bring peace is the idea that a belligerent terror state should be established in Judea and Samaria along Israel's most vulnerable border. Donald Trump certainly understands that, and I don't see any scenario in which Donald Trump supports the creation of a new Islamic terror state.
Is this the lowest point with regard to relations between the United States and Israel? Have you seen it any lower than this?
You know, people have referred to other times when the U.S. abstained or didn't veto, but nothing's been like this. This is coming from nowhere other than Obama's peak, and he's leaving office, and it's a parting blow. There wasn't some action that Israel took. This is Israel moving along in its life, trying to get along with the United States of America, trying to get along with Barack Obama, but on the way out, Obama and Kerry and team just decided to smack Israel in the face.
So why is it that the Jewish community as a whole votes more Democrat than Republican when something like this happens?
Well, you know, the majority of American Jews do identify Democrat, but Israel is a very low priority for them. So there are certain sectors, Orthodox Jews, Jews who've immigrated from Russia and other countries, who are very much on the other side of this and voted 85% and more for Donald Trump. It is secular Jews who have no real connection to Israel, and by the way, their positions on all of these issues don't reflect either a majority of Americans or a majority of Israelis. A majority of Americans and Israelis have never believed that the idea of creating a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria would bring peace.
Are you confident that the Trump administration can come in and reverse what's happened here at the UN?
I'm confident that the Trump administration will do everything in its power, and its considerable power, and it's not really afraid. You can see its principle. Donald Trump is not really afraid of pushing to get what he believes is correct. And I think it can make a tremendous difference, an absolute 180-degree turnaround from trying to force Israel to create a terror state in Judea and Samaria and cede its capital, Jerusalem, to actually caring about the interests, the safety, and the security of our ally, Israel.
All right. Continue to follow. Steve, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you.